If you are brand new to Google Notebook LM, then this video is for you. I'm going to provide a quick video overview of all of the features and kind of describe what exactly it is whenever you use Google Notebook LM. So first of all, to get over to the website, it's notebooklm.google.com. You can also access it if you're in your Gmail account. Hit the little waffle button, and you might have to scroll on the list here a little bit, but this is what the icon looks like. You click that, it is going to take you to this website. You can click Try Notebook LM, and it will log you into your notebook. Yours is going to look barren and desolate. Mine, I've been using it for a couple of years now, so I've got a lot of different notebooks. Before we get into showing you some of the maybe higher level features of some notebooks that I've already created, let's create our first notebook. And let's talk about what exactly Google Notebook LM is. So the reason that Notebook LM differentiates itself from any other AI thing out there is that you can upload your own sources. So over here on the left hand side, I can click Add Sources, and my sources can be things such as a file from my computer, like a PDF document or an MP3 file. Could be a link to a website, a link to a YouTube video, something from Google Drive, a spreadsheet, a slideshow, a document, and then just good old-fashioned copied and pasted text. So you can upload your own personal files, or if you don't have files and you want to include some stuff from the internet, you can now search the internet for sources. Now, you don't have to use the internet, and that's why Google Notebook LM is so darn cool. It used to be that AI would hallucinate at times, and that's because it was going out to the internet and it was finding all kinds of different information, and some information that you find on the internet is just not accurate, right? We learn things over time. Pluto's a planet. It's not a planet. It is a planet. And so that information is going to be factual or not factual based upon when it accessed it and added it to whatever it is that you're searching. In a ChatGPT, in a Microsoft Copilot, in a Google Gemini, for instance. All of those go out and search the internet. This one will only search your sources if you choose to do so. So you upload your file. So let's just go ahead and upload a file from my computer. We'll find something random to upload on there. How about the education reimbursement process at Greenbush? We're going to upload that as a PDF. You can upload up to 50 sources using your Google Notebook LM account. So now that I have my source uploaded, now I have this little chat box here in the middle where I can ask whatever questions I want about my sources. So if I want to know something about the education reimbursement process, maybe I might say, how do I get reimbursed? Right? I ask the question. It looks at only my sources. It does not look at the internet, which is awesome for a lot of different reasons. And it provides me that answer. Now, if I were to search ChatGPT for this information, it may or may not find it. I don't know if it's posted on our website, but it also might find education reimbursement processes for all kinds of different institutions. This is only looking at the document that I uploaded. And so whenever it looks for an answer and it finds an answer, it gives you these numbers as well, where you can click that number and it will take you to the exact spot in that PDF document where it took that information and provided you the answer. So you can verify that your information is accurate and correct by looking at your sources immediately. It's fantastic. So obviously the power of this also is that we can do things like, if I go back to my home screen, there was a guy named Matt Miller. He uploaded all of the different AI state guidances to Notebook LM. And so I've got, 30 something sources here, and I can quickly look at information from all of these sources and kind of sift it down into information that I'm interested in. So I could say, what are the consistencies across all states? Right? And so if I were to look at all of these documents, to take the time to open up all these documents, read them, try and figure out what were the consistencies across all of those documents, that would literally take me years of studying and analyzing. And that's the power of a Google Notebook LM, where you can upload as many, up to 50, documents that you want and quickly get to the answers that you're interested in finding. Now, it is taking some time to look through this because there's a lot of sources. In the meantime, over here on the right-hand side, you also have Studio, where you can generate things like video overviews, podcast discussions, infographics, and slideshows, and quizzes, and just like all kinds of stuff. We'll look at that a little bit more here in a bit. Let's see what kind of answer it came up with. So AI must serve as humans, mandatory focus on ethical principles. You can see, look at all of these quotes. All these things are quotes. 28, that's quoting that source specifically, and that is where it drew that information. It's unbelievable how good it is. Let's go back and look at this slideshow, because this is the one that I'm going to share during the Greenbush gathering. Audio overview, okay? No. Where are those saved? Oh, it's right here. So I'm going to open up one that I've got a couple of things already generated in. Whoops. So I'm going to open up this one, the Greenbush Employee Handbook, because I've already got a couple of the studio options generated and ready to go, just to show you real quick what those look like and how they work. So for each one of these studio options, if there's a pencil icon, that means that you can customize all of the things that you can do with that. So for an audio overview, if I click the pencil icon, this is a podcast. And it could be one person just explaining a topic very briefly, or it could be a couple of people having an in-depth conversation about whatever it is that you want them to focus on. So deep dive is the default, lively conversation between two hosts. You could pick a brief, a bite-sized overview to help you grasp the core ideas from your sources. A critique, which is an expert review of your sources offering constructive feedback to help you improve your material. Or a debate, a thoughtful debate between two hosts illuminating different perspectives on your sources. There is language options as well, a lot of different language options as well if you want that to be translated into a different language, and you can pick short, default, or long. Historically, whenever I've had it do a deep dive conversation and I use the default length, it will generate a podcast that's around 15 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes in length. If I go short, then it's like in the 2 to 5 minute length, and I have not tried out the long one yet, but I would imagine that it's probably more than 15 minutes. Down here, you can specifically say, well, what should the AI host focus on in this episode? So I've got one that is actually already ready to go. I did a short audio overview, and so I wanted them to kind of explain, well, what is Greenbush and what are we all about? So we'll listen to a couple of seconds of that so you can get a feel for it.
For 2025-2026. Okay, so this 2025-2026 handbook from the Southeast Kansas Education Service Center, Greenbush, is basically your go-to guide. It covers everything from your employment status to really important safety rules for all staff, no matter where you're working.
Yeah, Greenbush. So that one's a minute and 41 second just explainer podcast. And again, it is only based on the sources that I uploaded. Next option is the video overview. You have the same kind of customized options with the video overview. It could be an explainer, a structured, comprehensive overview that connects the dots within your sources, or brief, a bite-sized overview to help you quickly grasp core ideas from your sources. Again, language options, lots of them, and then you can choose a visual style. There's lots of nice little visual styles that you can use, and then you can type in specifically what you want the host to focus in on. So I've got a video overview right here. We will watch a couple seconds of it so you can see what that looks like.
Hey there, and a huge welcome to Greenbush. We are so excited to have you on the team. Look, we know starting a new job can feel like a total whirlwind of information. That's exactly why we put this quick guide together, to walk you through the key parts of your employee handbook and just help you get started on the right foot. So before we dive into all the details about paychecks and time off, I want to start with the most important thing, our why. This is our mission statement, and honestly, it is the heart of everything we do here.
Pretty cool, huh? I like it. I like it a lot. Next option is a mind map. So nice little visual representation of kind of what's going on with your sources, where it kind of breaks down things into larger chunks. And then you can click the little arrows and that will expand that and break that down into kind of smaller topics. And then once you get to a place where you're interested in getting some more information, such as prohibited substances, you can click that and it will go ahead and throw in a prompt here. So it says, discuss what these sources say about prohibited substances in the larger context of conduct. And then it searches those sources, provides you that answer. So that's what a mind map is. Next, we've got the reports section. So if we go into the reports section, you can create your own. So it crafts reports your way by specifying structure, style, tone, and more. A briefing doc, which is an overview of your sources featuring key insights and quotes. A study guide, a short answer quiz suggested, essay questions, and glossary of key terms. A blog post, which could be insightful takeaways distilled into a highly readable article. Essentially, it's looking at your sources and it is turning it into some kind of consumable document of sorts. Depending upon your needs, you've got a lot of different options here for your various reports. I've got a report example here, management policy brief. So it's essentially like the Cliff Notes version of your sources, which these are, I think there's probably about 40 pages worth of documents between these two. This one distilled it down into, I don't know, maybe like 5 pages of information. So you can quickly have a written resource if that is something that you desire. It's completely doable within Google Notebook LM. For the students out there, man, I spent a lot of time making flashcards back in my day, but now we can make flashcards with Google Notebook LM. And if I click the right link, it will show you those flashcards. There they are. So you get your flashcard. If you click there, you can see the answer. Click the arrows to go through. There's 72 cards that it generated. And then you can also download those into a CSV format so you can export them and throw them somewhere else. I don't know why you would ever even have to do that, because like that's a nice presentation and a way to make instant flashcards. We have the quiz option as well. I forgot to kind of show you the pencil icon on the flashcards. Fewer options, but number of cards fewer. Standard apparently gives us 70, so keep that in mind. Or more. Level of difficulty, so you can differentiate that as well. Pretty sweet. And then you can type in your specific prompt there. All right, the quiz. What are our custom options for quiz? Fewer questions, standard number of questions, or more. Level of difficulty, so again, differentiation. And then what do you want the quiz to focus on specifically? Here's our handbook quiz here. And just like before with our flashcards, you can take this quiz right in the browser. So according to the Greenbush Employee Handbook, what happens to employees' unused personal leave at the end of the contract year? 24 hours convert to sick leave. I think that's it. Any unused is forfeited. Nope. Paid out to the employee. I don't think so. Rolls over. No, I think it's this one, right? Yeah. I read my handbook, Randy. It's true. It's true. I did. Okay, so those are the quiz. Next one. This one just dropped. Currently, as the time of this recording, it's December 11th, 2025. This feature just dropped last week. Infographic. My goodness, this is so darn cool. Languages, still there. Landscape, orientation, so it will take up the entirety of this screen, right? All right, I had to phone a friend to figure out, well, like, what's the difference between landscape and portrait? So Google says the main difference is orientation. Landscape is wider than it is tall, while portrait is taller than it is wide. I'm going to bring in this tab so you can kind of see the visual, because that kind of helped me as well. Okay, so yeah, portrait, it'll look like that. It'll look like a sheet of paper, like a standard sheet of paper running through the copier. Landscape, it's flipped on its side, and it's a horizontal kind of orientation. I should have known that. I taught English, not geometry. And then there's square. So square is like the Instagram style. So 3 different orientations for your infographics. Should it be concise? Should it be standard? Should it be detailed? How many words and pieces of information do you want on this infographic? And then again, your description, your prompt to create this. These are just so cool. I'm having so much fun making these. So this is an infographic that I made with the Instagram format, and I wanted it to focus on the pillars of Greenbush. So gone are the days whenever AI really, really struggled with words. It would struggle to even generate 1 or 2 words in a title. It would just give you the wrong word. It would have like this weird blur effect. Those days are gone. Look at this. This is basically perfect, where you can almost turn around immediately and just throw this on Instagram and be like, hey, you want to know what the pillars of Greenbush are? There you go. That is them in a nutshell. I think I did another one too. Yeah, here we go. The reimbursement guide. So something that's a little bit more complicated, like what's the process of reimbursement? That was my prompt. I was like, explain the process of reimbursement. using an infographic. And I did this one in the landscape format. Yes, I got that right. Landscape, because it's wider than it is tall. And yeah, that would take me hours to make that probably on Canva. And that's if I knew what I was doing. If I didn't know what I was doing, I don't know that I would be able to make that. So you can generate those infographics based on your sources. It takes about 5 minutes to generate one of those, but man, they are cool. All right, slide deck is the last option. So you can do a detailed deck. So it's a comprehensive deck full of text and details, perfect for emailing or reading on its own. Or if you're going to be presenting to somebody, you can just do presenter slides, clean visual slides with key talking points to support you while you speak. Language options, length, short, or default, and then you get to, again, describe the slide deck that you want to create with your own personal prompt there. All right, so I did 2 different slide decks. We'll do the first one here, slide deck example. So it's just a welcome to Greenbush employee guide. The thing that's really crazy to me about this is that it has a really good flow to it. Like if I was going to make a presentation, like this is the flow that I would use, where it introduces topics, it dives into them a little bit deeper. It has enough information on the presentation where, like it said, you could just send this out in an email and people would get that. But all of these slides are a little bit different, right? I mean, now it's introducing a nice visual there on the last page. So it generated 15 slides for that one to provide an overview. And then in this one was all about that reimbursement guide, right? So a little different flavor, different topic, but it does a darn good job of explaining that. And this one, it was 11 slides. Now you might be curious about sharing your notebooks. If you click the share button, I can share this notebook with anybody inside of my organization. So if you're using Google Workspace, you have a school email address, you're only going to be able to share these notebooks with people inside of your own organization. Now, if you're using a personal account, for example, I have another notebook account using a personal Gmail address. In that case, you can actually share your notebook with anybody. So that example I had earlier, Allstate AI guidance that somebody had made, what they did was they just posted the link of this and everybody can access it. So if you're using a personal account, you can post a public link that anybody can access this and kind of interact with it. If you're using a Google Workspace account, you're limited to sharing it only with people within your organization. So just do be aware of that, a little bit of a limitation. Overall, though, man, Google NotebookLM, they are bringing the heat. I keep recommending them time and time again when people are asking me questions about, hey, is there an EdTech tool that does this? My mind just keeps going to Google NotebookLM because it's available, it's awesome, and it seems to keep getting better. So hopefully this brief video overview of Google NotebookLM was helpful to you. If you have any questions, send me an email anytime. I'm happy to help. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, happy EdTeching.